Hey everyone, this video is slightly different to videos that I've made before. So if you like this style of videos and you want to see me make more, then please consider leaving a like as well as a comment. And with that, let's begin. So today we're going to be talking about 5 mistakes I made when starting with game development. So the first mistake that I made when I started was not starting small enough. Now, anyone who's done about 5 minutes of research on indie game dev will probably have came across this tip, since it's literally everywhere. However, somehow I missed this piece of advice when starting out, and went straight to creating a massive 3D online battle royale game with classes and a massive map. I'm sure you can all guess how far that project got. Now, the reason that it is important to start small is when you are learning game dev, your skills will constantly be improving. So if you start with a project with too large of a scope, then maybe in a month or even just a few weeks later, you will start to look back at the project and realize all of the mistakes you made with the code and game art, and all of the other aspects of game dev as well. Your first project shouldn't be anything larger than Pong, and on top of that, you should restrict your first project to no longer than a week. The next mistake that I made was not participating in game jams. Now, for those of you who don't know what a game jam is, it's basically an event where a group of people will all create a game around a given theme in a given time frame. The exact details of it will vary from jam to jam, but that's the basic idea. The reason I regret not participating in game jams is because game jams are an amazing way to get an experience with actually finishing and releasing a game. Also, once you do release it, it is almost guaranteed to be seen and played by at least a few people, which I can say from experience is amazing. On top of that, game jams are really fun and a great way to get involved with this awesome game dev community. Speaking of the community, the next mistake that I made when I was starting out was not getting involved in the community enough. Back when I was starting out, I didn't really show my work to anyone. I wasn't involved with any of the many game dev Discord servers and didn't really do anything related to the community. I think this was a missed opportunity because the game dev community is such a great place to get feedback on your art, music, and other aspects of your game. And within the game dev community, there are sub-communities such as the artist community and the music community and the programming community. So I'd recommend heading over to Reddit and joining some of these subreddits such as r/gamedev and r/unity, and also finding some Discord servers to join. The next mistake that I made was not prioritizing polish in my games. Now, there's a really interesting and in-depth video talking about polish and how important it is in games, which I will link in the description. But if you go back and look at some of my older projects, you will notice that none of them were polished. For example, the first game that I ever released, called Stickman Brawl, had no polish whatsoever. And I think that really affected what people thought about the game. When I was starting out, I really should have been prioritizing making a simple game mechanic such as top-down shooting as polished as it possibly could be, rather than making hundreds of poorly polished game mechanics. So the last mistake that I made, and probably the biggest when I was starting out, was that I ignored marketing. With so many engines such as Unity and Godot lowering their barrier to entry with tools that allow people who don't even know how to code to make games is kind of a good thing and a bad thing. On the good side, it means that the game dev community is constantly growing to numbers that it would never be able to reach before, with more people starting out with this hobby. But the bad side means that there are lots more games being released now than ever before. So if you don't do something to stand out from the crowd, then your game will just be ignored and played by nobody. I actually have some first-hand experience with this. So the game that I was working on was called Golfing Adventures, which I planned to release on the Google Play Store, and I did very little marketing. I posted 2 gameplay videos to this channel and posted like 3 images on Twitter, and for some reason thought that would be enough marketing to get the game popular. I was very wrong. When it came time to release the game, there was nobody interested in it, and nobody played it. Which I think is a shame because I'm actually still pretty proud of this game to this day. A few months later, I tried to revive the game by bringing it to itch.io, but it was way too late. So hopefully that story gets it in your head just how important marketing is. After that failure, I made Gun Dash, which you will probably know that I made some devlogs about, and also posted frequent GIFs to Twitter. And the game did much better than Golfing Adventures did. For some context, Golfing Adventures is sitting at around 14 downloads on itch.io, while Gun Dash is sitting at around 100 downloads. So if there is one thing that you take away from this video, make sure it be that marketing is important, and don't just start marketing your game 2 weeks before you launch. You need to start marketing your game from the very beginning, whether you make devlogs like I do or post GIFs to Reddit and Twitter. I cannot emphasize the importance of marketing. Anyway guys, this is where we'll be ending the video. If you enjoyed, please consider leaving a like and subscribing, and I'll see you all next time.